There you go. It's the medical examiner that's being escorted. It's a medical examiner. And the car. And the car. Get the car. The car.
I want that shit to be in her mind about me. This shit just made me cry. You know what I'm saying? Cause my grandma seeing this shit like, I'm like, man. Like, damn, man. I come out, jump the gate, get in the car, bam, shut the door.
On the 17th of November 2021, in broad daylight at approximately 12:20 p.m., two individuals armed and masked arrived near Makeda's homemade butter cookies. They left their white Mercedes and proceeded towards the store entrance. Their intent was clear as they brandished their weapons. Upon reaching their target, they unleashed a hail of gunfire, resulting in a tragic outcome. The victim succumbed to 22 gunshot wounds.
You said my grandma told me when I was 6, there ain't no such thing as no damn Santa Claus, there ain't no such thing as no damn friends.
The life lost on that fateful day belonged to a revered figure in Memphis, a rapper known as Young Dolph. His influence extended far beyond Memphis, shaping the music and culture of the entire United States during the 2010s.
If it ain't one thing, it's another. We trapped together, then that's brother.
What set Dolph apart was his unique path to success in the music industry. Unlike most artists, he reached the pinnacle of his career on his own terms. Free from the constraints of record labels, he possessed a clear vision of his destination and the route he intended to take. However, this independence also made him a target for many, ultimately leading to his untimely demise. Dolph had unwavering faith in himself and his music, to the extent that he turned down lucrative multi-million-dollar offers multiple times. His only obstacle was the fierce competition willing to employ any means necessary to achieve their goals. This is the story of Young Dolph, the events that tragically led to his demise and how the Trulla Mafia took out a legend of hip-hop away from us. Adolph Robert Thornton Jr. entered this world on July 27, 1985 in Chicago, Illinois, but his family relocated to Memphis, Tennessee when he was just 2 years old. Memphis would become the backdrop for Dolph's remarkable music journey. Growing up in South Memphis was a shared experience for many children, as their parents grappled with addiction, leaving grandparents to take on the role of caregivers. Dolph was no exception to this narrative. He considered himself fortunate to occasionally see his parents, but the central figure in his life was his grandmother.
The person that gave me all my game is my grandma. The reason why I'm rich is because of my grandma. The reason why I'm on top of game is because of my grandma. The reason why I don't trust nobody is because of my grandma.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm private and keep shit separate is like my business and family is because of my grandma. Like all this shit is confidential shit is from my grandma.
Living under his grandma's strict rules was far from easy, but young Dolph believed it played a pivotal role in shaping his character. The upbringing he received from his grandmother instilled in him a strong sense of responsibility. In his own words, Dolph described his grandmother as the sternest individual in the world.
I thought she was the meanest in the world.
To illustrate her influence, Dolph recalled a time when he couldn't comprehend why his grandmother, Ida Mae, disapproved of some of the people he associated with, never allowing him to label them as friends. However, as he matured, he came to understand her wisdom. She was preparing him for a world where people might betray you when you least expect it. This upbringing compelled young Dolph to seek a more active role in the household as he grew older. Traditional 9-to-5 employment wasn't an option he considered. Consequently, he became increasingly immersed in street life, eventually venturing into the drug trade. Imagine a 77-year-old woman trying to raise 3 young kids in the heart of the inner city, amidst gang activity and rampant drug use. That's an incredibly tough situation for an elderly lady, Dolph reflected. So given my circumstances, I recognized the weight of responsibility. I couldn't let her shoulder it all. I always had a knack for making money, so when I was 15 or 16, I fully immersed myself in street life. Yet, it was within the confines of this street life that Dolph discovered his passion for music. Without the extensive network he built during this time, young Dolph might never have ascended to the pinnacle of rap stardom. According to young Dolph himself, the very streets that raised him also witnessed his transformation into a music artist. His passion for music had been with him since childhood, but he didn't start creating his own music until later in life. His family friend, Miss Tammy, describes his first steps in the music world like this.
They had all kind of shit set up over there. Well, see, like to me at first, he used to have a lot of stuff crossed up. You know, they was putting them beats and all that stuff together. All they had it hooked up over there. And he was struggling at first, but he got it. I mean, he knew what he was doing. But to me, I didn't know because I'm 60, so, you know, that was new, all new to me. He said, Miss Tammy, I'm going to the top.
Tragedy struck when his grandmother passed away, and Dolph experienced a profound loss. However, he channeled this trauma into his music, using rap as a means to cope with his grief. His lyrics were raw and heartfelt, resonating deeply with his audience. In 2009, Dolph released his first track purely for fun, not realizing that it marked the beginning of an incredible journey. Encouraged by those around him, he decided to share his music with all of Memphis. Dolph had both the resources and the courage to do so. As a well-known figure in the streets, he was already familiar to many DJs. He decided to distribute 20,000 CDs of his mixtape Paper Route campaign to clubs throughout the city, ranging from the smallest venues to the most prominent players in the music scene. Remarkably, Dolph also made sure to compensate those who supported him, demonstrating his understanding of economics and the value of good marketing. The response from the audience was overwhelmingly positive, giving rise to the earliest Dolph fans. Without much hesitation, he set out to pursue a career in the music industry, doing it his own way. Astonishingly, within just 2 years, Young Dolph established his own record label, Paper Route Empire, PRE.
Yeah, look around, see cars and shit out of this shit packed, man. You know what I'm saying? They come out fuck with Dolph, man. Stupid ass Dolph show, nigga. You know what I'm saying? High class street music, Young Dolph.
In 2010, Dolph formally founded PRE as an independent record label, free from the influence of major record companies. Their operation was entirely self-sufficient, embodying their commitment to autonomy and self-reliance. On July 2nd, 2010, Dolph released Welcome to Dolph World, which he considers his first official mixtape. Produced by DJ Scream, the tracks paid homage to the musical heritage of Memphis, reminiscent of artists like 3-6 Mafia and 8 Ball and MJG. This mixtape served as a stepping stone for the music that would follow in the years ahead. In 2011, Dolph released mixtapes High Class Street Music and High Class Street Music Episode 2, marking a period of self-discovery where he honed his unique style. Young Dolph's signature deep voice and aggressive delivery of verses became recognizable. With several mixtapes and a burgeoning street reputation, Young Dolph was beginning to attract significant attention.
All I know is trap been doing good, I'm serving junkies at the peephole.
His rising popularity eventually caught the eye of another accomplished Memphis rapper, Yo Gotti. At the time, Yo Gotti had established himself and had the opportunity to sign other artists to his record label, Collective Music Group, CMG. In 2014, Gotti extended an offer to Young Dolph, but Dolph declined. He was determined to maintain his independence and continue forging his own path. Little did anyone anticipate that this decision would ignite a long-standing feud between him and Yo Gotti that would endure for years. According to an interview Young Dolph had on The Breakfast Club, the history between him and Yo Gotti can be boiled down to 2 core issues, each leading to a cascade of consequences. First, Yo Gotti wanted to sign Dolph to his record label, but Dolph declined the offer. Second, Dolph was romantically involved with Gotti's former girlfriend. Let's delve into the first issue, which centered around the proposed record deal. Yo Gotti had been persistently texting Dolph for 2 years, expressing a strong desire to have Young Dolph signed to his record label. Gotti even requested that Dolph send him a track with an open verse so they could collaborate, all before they had even met in person.
Listen, man, on my little boy and my little girl, man, he come to me talking about let him get on the song. Know what I mean? Why you want me to get on this song? So, I'll send it to me. Send me the song with the open verse. Know what I mean? Now if it was the other way around where I'm trying to do, you gotta think this back in the day where I don't really even know the game to know nothing. All I was doing was just pulling up on everybody with a bag. Ask 2 Chainz, ask Gucci Man, ask Drummer Boy, ask Zaytoven, ask A-Bar, ask everybody. All of them got stacks from Dolph. I can't wait to pull up on you with whatever kind of book bags I was wearing back then. Now, I was the shoulder bags everybody wearing now. Yeah. That's what I was pulling up on everybody with stacks in it.
Their first meeting occurred in 2012, arranged by a DJ who worked with Dolph and convinced him to visit Gotti's studio. While waiting for Gotti, Dolph was approached by Gotti's manager, known as Pepper. Pepper, even before Gotti arrived, advised Dolph against taking the deal. He saw Dolph as an independent artist with his own thriving career who didn't need Gotti's assistance. When Gotti arrived, they immediately engaged in conversation. Gotti acknowledged Dolph's accomplishments, acknowledging his financial success, his team, and his music. However, Gotti had a grander vision beyond just music. He saw it as a business opportunity. It's important to note that Dolph was already business savvy. However, Gotti made a pivotal error while trying to finalize the deal. He spoke unfavorably about the artists already signed to his label, specifically downplaying the contributions of his artists Zilla and Starlito. Gotti portrayed them as needing constant guidance and likened them to children. He contrasted this with Dolph, whom he saw as self-sufficient and not in need of such direction.
You ain't like Zilla. I ain't gotta hold your hand like Zilla. You ain't like Starlito. I ain't gotta hold your hand like Starlito. I ain't gotta babysit you like them. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but it's my first time meeting you. You gonna really sit and downplay your artists and throw your artists up on the bus to try to persuade me in to come over there?
This critical misstep became the deal breaker. How could Dolph trust that Gotti wouldn't treat him similarly to Zilla and Starlito, undermining his abilities to elevate others? Dolph was left disappointed, and the deal fell through. There was no possibility of collaboration after that incident. Furthermore, Dolph had a significant reason for wanting to maintain his independence. He didn't want people to think that he succeeded in the rap world solely because of Gotti's influence, a perception that can sometimes arise in the industry. According to Yo Gotti, the last time the two communicated was on August 24th, 2012.
Yeah, what's the date?
August 24th, 2012.
Last text.
That's 5 years ago.
That's how you gotta approach this shit, homie. Just gotta stay down and make the right decisions, and you can win big, my nigga. You in a good space in Memphis, but you gotta take that shit from there to the world, and it's gonna turn into money. I like your grind, my nigga. When I was in your position, none of them niggas who could've helped me did. Our city fucked up, homie, and I'm trying to stop letting history repeat itself and show niggas we can get money together and everybody be on some ball shit, cause I gotta make sure no matter what happened, homie, I did my part to help anybody I thought could really go the distance, and you one of them niggas, homie. And even better, you got your own movement and vision. You just need a real support system, not any support system, but one that understands what you is and where you trying to go and how to reach the people you need to reach.
As previously hinted, the second issue contributing to their falling out was Dolph's romantic involvement with Yo Gotti's ex-girlfriend. While neither party publicly admitted to this, it was a well-known fact within their circle. Dolph alluded to this relationship in his music, further straining their relationship. The tension between Young Dolph and Yo Gotti escalated with the release of several tracks containing veiled shots at each other. The first instance of this occurred in Dolph's mixtape, South Memphis Kingpin, where he featured a track titled Scared of Me. Yeah, he can rap, but he lying. I'm through sugarcoating. And oh yeah, him, yeah, he cool, but he fake as F doing all that tricking on that B. Still effing yo baby mama. Then, on October 8th, 2015, Dolph dropped his mixtape, Shittin' on the Industry, and on the title track, he alluded to someone's baby mama directly messaging him. It didn't take a detective to figure out whose girlfriend that was. Guess who baby mama DM me? Say you the S I would tell you, but I'm always starting S. This time, Yo Gotti took notice of the subtle jabs Dolph was sending his way. In response, Gotti crafted a comeback in his track, Legendary, where he rapped, "You really hate me about the B, my dude, that's some other S. How you gonna be a legend when you doing legendary sucker ass?" The turning point in their relationship came on February 9th, 2016, when Young Dolph announced his forthcoming album titled King of Memphis. This marked a shift toward a more public and overt feud. The world began to take notice of the simmering rivalry, and the competition for the title of the #1 Memphis rapper became palpable. Yo Gotti had long claimed the mantle of the King of Memphis, and here was Dolph, hungry to challenge his supremacy. The situation escalated further when, on February 19th, 2016, Yo Gotti released his 8th album, The Art of Hustle, on the same day that Dolph released King of Memphis. This clash of album releases put Memphis's rap scene in a difficult position, as fans had to choose between Dolph and Gotti. This rivalry set the stage for the intense violence that would erupt only months later. Young Dolph's life has been punctuated by perilous encounters, with multiple attempts on his life over the years. While the exact count of these life-threatening incidents remains elusive, the frequency of such occurrences is disconcertingly high, surpassing expectations even for those conducting a thorough investigation. The first documented assassination attempt on Dolph's life came to light during the CIAA event in 2016, a yearly celebration in Charlotte that spans from February 23rd to the 28th. Dolph was headlining one of the late-night events during this festival. During the gathering, an astounding barrage of 50 to 60 gunshots targeted Young Dolph's Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van. Remarkably, Dolph himself was not inside the vehicle during this incident, though his manager occupied the targeted van. This incident unfolded near the Sky condominiums and the Hyatt Hotel on South Caldwell Street on February 28, 2016. Law enforcement estimated that 40 to 50 gunshots struck 2 vehicles and even hit the hotel lobby's entrance door. Quick police action led to the arrest of 3 suspects on the same evening. Among those arrested were Howard Wright, Kevin Thompson, and Dereki Bolton, all charged with 3 counts of discharging firearms into occupied dwellings and discharging firearms within city limits. Of note, Howard Wright held the position of vice president at Yo Gotti's record label, CMG, and served as Gotti's road manager. This marked the first instance of an attack on Dolph's life connected to Yo Gotti's circle. The CIAA event in 2017 brought its own share of disruptions. On February 25, 2017, Young Dolph and his entourage returned to the CIAA event once again. This time, however, there was a significant departure from previous incidents. Dolph was inside the car that became the target of gunfire, and the scale of the assault was notably intensified. The assailants unleashed approximately 100 rounds at Young Dolph's vehicle. Fortunately, the car's bulletproof shielding ensured Dolph's survival without injury. Remarkably, he went on to perform later that same night, just hours after the terrifying shooting.
Hey, check this out. I'm gonna show you how to get them motherfucking millions, man, self-made now. Yeah, I mean it. We don't suck dick, we don't rag dick to get money. We hustle up, nigga, I mean it. Paper around here, how we run shit. It's dope.
After performing that night, he went on Twitter to clown the shooters for missing all those shots. He tweeted that night, "You lose," with a laughing emoji. Dolph continued trolling the shooters because on April 1st, 2017, he dropped a new album titled Bulletproof. And on the track list, he is trolling the whole situation. The track list says this: 100 shots in Charlotte, but I'm bulletproof, so fuck 'em. That's how I feel. I'm so real. I pray for my enemies. I'm everything you want to be, so that's why you envy me.
In a bold display of defiance, Dolph even performed his diss track aimed at Yo Gotti titled Play With Your B, directly addressing the crowd. At the conclusion of his performance, he publicly called out the entire CMG label. This dramatic incident would later serve as the thematic backdrop for his subsequent album, Bulletproof, released on April 1st, 2017. The album's opening track, the iconic 100 Shots, encapsulated the essence of this traumatic experience. The individuals responsible for the attack were promptly apprehended by the authorities, mirroring the resolution seen in 2016. However, this time the assailants voluntarily surrendered. Among them were 3 men, including the rapper under Yo Gotti's wing, Black Young Dolph, whose real name is Sammy Benson. Frederick Black and Antavius Garner, all Memphis natives, were also involved. Black Young Dolph faced charges including 6 counts of discharging firearms into occupied property and 1 count of felony conspiracy. The tumultuous year of 2017 continued to hold further incidents for Dolph. Just months later, on September 27th, he found himself targeted yet again, this time in Los Angeles. Both Young Dolph and Yo Gotti were staying at the Lowe's Hollywood Hotel. An altercation erupted in front of the hotel within the valet parking area as 3 individuals confronted Dolph verbally. The confrontation escalated rapidly, culminating in the display of firearms. Corey McClendon, one of the individuals involved, brandished a firearm and fired multiple shots at Dolph, necessitating immediate medical intervention. Dolph was rushed to a hospital and miraculously survived the harrowing ordeal.
This is 32-year-old rapper Young Dolph, whose latest album is entitled Bulletproof, and one of the songs on that album, 100 Shots. And detectives say just before 1 o'clock this afternoon, he was shot. Detectives say 3 men approached him right in front of Lowell's Hollywood Hotel today, where all 4 were guests. There was a fight, Young Dolph fell to the ground, and that's when one of the 3 suspects opened fire.
Corey McClendon was apprehended but subsequently released the following day due to insufficient evidence. Intriguingly, a connection between Yo Gotti and Corey McClendon came to light, underscoring the notion that even those deemed untouchable can fall victim to determined assailants. This 4th attempt on Dolph's life proved to be the closest call yet. On November 17, 2021, Young Dolph left his home in his camo-painted Corvette with the simple intention of picking up cookies from his favorite spot, Makeda's homemade butter cookies. Little did he know that this seemingly routine errand would lead to his tragic demise. The very location where he intended to satisfy his cookie craving would become the scene of a deadly ambush. According to the store's owner, as young Dolph was entering the establishment, a vehicle pulled up alongside him. Before he could reach safety, a hail of bullets erupted from the guns of two assailants, ending the life of Memphis rap legend Young Dolph.
And prayers for Young Dolph's extended family. We're talking about those from the streets of South Memphis specifically. His fans gathered to reflect on the many times the 36-year-old Memphis-raised rapper would come back in order to give back.
Some reports suggest that Dolph was struck by as many as 22 bullets fired by the two attackers. Regardless of the exact number, the gunshot wounds proved fatal. The news of this shocking incident generated significant interest among locals, prompting government officials to intervene. They urged citizens to remain indoors until the police department could gather evidence. Remarkably, police cars patrolled the vicinity of Yo Gotti's residence due to concerns about potential retaliation. Authorities immediately suspected a connection between Yo Gotti and the incident, deeming the risk too great to ignore. However, the mystery surrounding Gotti's involvement was dispelled on January 5, 2022. According to the official account provided by the police department, there was no evidence linking Yo Gotti to Young Dolph's death. In fact, the primary suspect, Justin Johnson, a rapper known as Straight Drop, had affiliations with Key Glock, a fellow artist on Young Dolph's record label, PRE. The second suspect, Cornelius Smith, was already in custody, having been indicted on first-degree charges. Although no overt connections were found between Yo Gotti and the attack on Dolph, another more sinister mystery emerged. There were undisclosed dealings involving Young Dolph with potentially dangerous individuals. It is strongly believed that these clandestine associations put Dolph in grave jeopardy, ultimately leading to the deployment of hitmen to end his life. Whether Dolph was aware of the danger or not, his involvement with the Trulla Mafia allegedly sparked intense enmity, exacting the ultimate price, Dolph's life. The tumultuous journey in Young Dolph's life took a dark turn when he made the fateful decision to sign an artist with a troubling history involving the Trulla Mafia. The artist in question was Uncle Danny, also known as Big Unk. Danny faced accusations of being involved in the demise of D-Money, a significant figure within the Trulla Mafia gang. This association immediately sowed the seeds of trouble, with Uncle Danny becoming a part of Dolph's PRE, Paper Route empire. It seemed to invite chaos and conflict. The individuals suspected of carrying out the tragic hit on Dolph were Justin Johnson, also known as Straight Drop, and Cornelius Smith, both identified as members of the notorious Trullas. The Trulla Mafia gained infamy for its involvement in brutal crimes throughout Memphis, ranging from grand theft auto to ordering hits. But the list of suspects doesn't end there. A key figure in this sinister tale is CEO Teezy, the leader of the Trulla. Following Dolph's assassination, Teezy fled to Jamaica, further complicating the narrative. The revelation of CEO Teezy's possible involvement shifts the entire script surrounding Dolph's murder. It suggests a scenario that many had speculated from the outset: the reemergence of CMG, collective music group, in the story. CMG and the Trulla Mafia had deep and significant connections. Notably, Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke, was closely associated with CEO Teezy, as evidenced by footage of them together on multiple occasions. Their interactions, particularly during Teezy's birthday celebration, suggest a close friendship. But the CMG Trulla link doesn't end with Big Juke. Another suspect in the investigation into Dolph's slaying is Shundale Barnett, a known associate of Black Youngsta, a CMG rapper who had a history of feuding with Dolph. Black Youngsta had even attempted an attack on Dolph in the past, but was released due to insufficient evidence. Shundale's appearance in Black Youngsta's music videos and his suspected involvement in the November 17th ambush further blur the lines between the two factions. Although financial motives may have played a part, the primary driving force behind the attack was vengeance. D-Money and his brother J-Money had met tragic ends, and the Trulla Mafia believed that someone had to pay the price for their deaths. As high-ranking members of the Mafia gang, they adhered to a strict code of retribution, an eye for an eye. The fact that D-Money was signed to Dolph's label led them to believe that Dolph was closely associated with them, especially considering Dolph's discerning approach to business partnerships. This confluence of factors culminated in the murder in Memphis, orchestrated by the Trulla Mafia and allegedly with backing from CMG.
The victim is Josh Taylor, also known as CEO Teezy. Now, we're also getting that this was a hit by PRE, Dolph's gang. Now, this has not been confirmed by MPD, but we do know that Taylor was a person of interest in Dolph's murder.
Recent developments have cast a solemn shadow over the ongoing narrative of violence connected to the case, with CEO Teasy, who was previously a person of interest in the Young Dolph murder investigation, now becoming a tragic casualty himself. Joshua Taylor, known as CEO Teasy, met a grim fate, succumbing to fatal gunshot injuries. His name had been intertwined with the Young Dolph murder case in 2021, but no formal charges had been brought against him in connection with the rapper's killing. Consequently, the circumstances surrounding Taylor's untimely demise are shrouded in mystery. On June 14th, Memphis police made a grim discovery when they found Taylor's lifeless body inside a vehicle at the intersection of Spotswood Avenue and Bunton Street in Memphis. Subsequently, his family confirmed his identity. As of now, the Memphis Police Department spokesperson has acknowledged that no suspects have been identified in relation to this incident, and the investigation into the circumstances surrounding Taylor's death is actively ongoing. Speculation abounds regarding potential links between those involved in the attack and paper route, which raises the possibility of retaliation. However, at this stage, certainties remain elusive. Only time will reveal whether this occurrence was a response to Young Dolph's murder, or if Teasy had garnered adversaries unrelated to that context, seeking his demise. In the wake of these harrowing events and the complex web of violence that has gripped the rap community, one stark truth remains. The toll of gun violence is devastating, and it touches the lives of not only the artists but their communities as well. The tragedy surrounding Young Dolph's life and the subsequent deaths of those connected to the case serve as stark reminders of the urgent need for change. We must come together as a society, recognizing that the prevalence of gun violence and its devastating consequences affect us all. It is a call to action that extends beyond the world of hip-hop, transcending genres and communities.
And quite frankly, I think we are all tired of it. Our hearts go out to the Thornton family and all who are affected by this horrific act of violence.
It is imperative that we seek ways to ensure the safety of our neighborhoods and the artists who inspire us. The story of Young Dolph serves as a somber testament to the fragility of life in the face of senseless violence. We must unite in our determination to protect our youth, our communities, and the creative voices that enrich our culture. As we reflect on the lives lost and the pain endured, let us channel our collective energy into creating a future where artists can pursue their dreams without fear, where our communities thrive without the specter of violence, and where the music that unites us continues to flourish.
They named this little boy Junior, so we got 3-8 on.
Together, we can turn the page on this dark chapter and work towards a safer, more harmonious world for all. The legacy of Young Dolph and those who have suffered in this narrative can inspire us to stand up against gun violence, creating a brighter future where artists not only survive, but thrive.